Mehraboon Irani joins in now with his thoughts on the market from Centrum Broking, of course. Mehraboon, afternoon. What would you make of this intraday pullback today?
I think within what could have happened possibly would be a little bit of short covering, I personally feel. But as regards the overall market, while I do hope and I do pray that the bottom is at place, I think I will not be surprised if the market again over the days to come will go and test the recent low. The reasons for saying this are very simple. Number one, the outlook for the economy as well as the corporate performance remains quite weak, at least for the next 6 months, number one. And number two, I at least will not ever imagine, ever believe that the markets would have invaded slow and there is so much of volatility which continues. So personally, I feel that yes, it's possible, very much possible in the days to come the market may go and retest its recent low. Then I think what could happen would be a time-bound correction, which could possibly lead to a reduction in volatility, and that could possibly form the base for the next bull market. But for the time being, considering the outlook as far as the economy goes is rather weak, I would not be surprised if we go and retest the recent low in the days to come.
That's Anil Agarwal outlining that despite a moderation and a sharp moderation in metal prices, he would still report significant profitability and no question of getting into losses. That's his view, of course, though those stocks have been clubbed over the last many sessions. Tisco and Hindalco and Sterlite have led this fall. Mehraboon, how would you position yourself in the metals universe now after the fall of the last couple of days?
I think while there are a lot of people who would possibly feel that the book value, the balance sheet and all otherwise looks good and we are passing to a bad phase as far as metals go, I have been negative on this sector, and even right now, just because the prices have come down and the balance sheets otherwise would be very healthy, I don't think I would venture out and go and buy the metal stocks right now, because we need to understand it's a complete slowdown all over the world. I think what ArcelorMittal announced yesterday is a clear indication of the fact that even corporates are accepting the fact. So cut in production, definitely, while it could be possibly a little bit healthy over the medium term as far as the demand-supply equation goes. But for the time being, I personally feel there could be some more pressure on metal stocks, because I think you cannot go away from the fact that there is a complete slowdown and it's going to affect this particular sector. We have seen a complete meltdown as far as prices go. I'm not talking about the stock price, I'm talking about the metal prices itself. And I personally feel this pressure on metal prices is going to continue. So I remain negative on this sector even at the moment, while many would feel that otherwise the stocks would look attractive and there's nothing much to fall, but that is not the way one should be looking at stocks. With the outlook uncertain right now, with the outlook gloomy right now, I don't think I'm tempted to buy into any metal stocks, even at the present levels.
Still a bit weak for trade, and just holding on to 29.50. Reliance has remained the bugbear for the market, now at 1200, so it's still down about 5.5%. Mehraboon, what would you do with this one?
I have been expecting for quite some time that Reliance should be an underperformer, and I was honestly very surprised by the way the share shot up very sharply in the last few days. So the way the stock has faltered over the last 2 days, honestly, I'm not too surprised. I personally feel Reliance should possibly find its base sooner rather than later, but I don't expect the stock to be a great outperformer, because there are problems. There are problems as far as refining margins and other things goes for the company. But being the large size conglomerate that the company is, if somebody will ask me right now that whether I should sell into a Reliance, my answer would definitely be no, because for the longer term, yes, a stock like Reliance is something which should be there in the portfolio. At least at the present price, we should not be exiting. But I would expect the stock to be an underperformer for the last few months, and I think the stock may continue to underperform and be a little bit under pressure in the near term.
Okay, Mehraboon, stay on. Let's take a break. Now just holding 2900. So like we've been telling you, that adjustment with the inflation figure has happened for the equity market at any rate. The bond market reaction should also come up on your screens. Here's a couple of internals in case you track that for inflation. Everything has actually seen an uptick. Primary articles, non-food, food, everything is up between 0.4% to 0.8%. So all that has contributed to an uptick in the figure. The market, though, is still facing a little bit of pressure, particularly from the steel stocks. Mehraboon Irani has been speaking with us. In a bit, we'll get you some more fundamental voices as well. But Rahul Mohinder joins in for the technicals of trade. Rahul, you would have cut a long position by now on the Nifty at this 2900 juncture?
Oh yeah, certainly. In fact, ever since we went past 3100, one was rather uncomfortable because the entire rally that we saw over the last 1 or 2 weeks was not really coupled with anything with serious volume. So keeping that in mind, I still think we are probably going to take a lot more time. There's still a scope that we break current lows as well. But again, for starters, I'd watch for something like 2700, 2750 on the Nifty.
Mehraboon, your take on this inflation?